What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. So, as you can see by the title, what this video is going to be about. I was supposed to be ending this video. It's just taking a while to do it. I don't know why, but we're doing it today. So, I'm sitting outside in the car. I have not got out yet because I wanted a quiet place to do it so that I could tell the full. Give all the details. Make sure I give all the details. Excuse my ponytail. It's been here for a couple days, but that's not the point. Okay, straight to the point. So I don't know where to begin. So back in 2016, 2017, I went to the doctor for a standard visit, right? And I went to the OBGYN. Let me be specific. Went to the OBGYN for a routine checkup, do my annual PAP or whatever. So as soon as everything's going cool, everything's going normal. But as soon as he went, because the doctor was a man, I was going to say of course, but you know what, and I'm going to say of course, it was a male, a white guy, an older white guy. I went to him because he delivered my niece, and I had heard so many good things about him. He's a very prominent OBGYN where I'm from. So like I said, it was a standard checkup. Soon as he went in, he immediately came back out. When I say went in, where he went into, he immediately came back out. I would say he was in there maybe 30-45 seconds. I don't even think it was a full minute. I just remember him grabbing his hand and coming back out. And he was like, okay, that's it. And he was like, you can go ahead and get dressed. Once you get dressed, we'll have a conversation. I was like, okay. So in my mind, I'm like, what the hell? This is the quickest PAP I've ever had. So something had to be going on. Okay, so I got dressed, got back dressed, and he came back in and he was like, so last year, did I ever come to you or say anything about fibroids? And I was like, no, you never said anything. He was like, okay, so you may have them, and it feels like, from what I felt, there it's pretty big. He was like, if I didn't say anything to you, it has grown significantly within the last year, and that's not, I won't say it's not normal, but that's usually not how it goes. And I'm like, okay. So backstory, when I was in high school, my 9th grade year, freshman year, fresh in high school, my mom, she had fibroids, and hers was so big that they were she called them her twins. And when I was in 9th grade, she had them removed. And that's all I knew about fibroids, was that it was something bad. It was something that required surgery to remove them. So I'm thinking, oh shit, I've never had surgery before. What am I supposed to do? How do, so many things were going through my head. I didn't know what to do. So I was just like, okay. So he was like, so as I'm saying, okay, tears are forming. He was like, don't cry. He was like, well, I can't tell you not to cry, but I know it's a lot. So let's just start from the beginning. And so he was like, what we'll do, we'll just go and make sure that I'm right. And so I was like, okay. So we went into ultrasound. This is my very first ultrasound, never done it before. It's just me. And so then I didn't have nobody come to the doctor with me. I always went and did this kind of thing by myself, except for the very, very, very first time I had a PAP done. My mom, she did go with me then. But after that, it was just me. So it's just me. I'm in tears walking into the ultrasound room, because it was a room, of course it's a room by itself. So the lady did the ultrasound, she's taking all the pictures, I'm hearing all the clicks. And so when she's done, she was just like throughout the test, throughout her taking the pictures, she was just like just like making little noises and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? So of course it's quiet. She takes all her pictures, and then I get dressed again, and he's like, he comes back in, the doctor comes back in, and he was like, so it is what I thought it was. It's definitely fibroids. And I went and I looked back at your records, and no, we did not have a discussion. I'm like, I know we didn't have a discussion. We never talked about this before. Like, I'm not retarded. I would remember that. And so he was like, so it's possible that they could have been there last year and they were just so small that we did not see them. But for them to have grown to the size that they are, they're the size of, what did he say? It was some kind of ball. I don't think it was a softball. I want to say he said like a tennis ball. And he was like, one of them is. And we've actually found 3. One around your navel, one on the left side, and one on the right side as well. And so he was like, so I think that we should definitely go ahead and go in and remove them. The lucky thing about you, we just had this new technology to come out where it's not as invasive as what it used to be. I'm not putting you for a candidate for a hysterectomy or a partial hysterectomy or anything like that. But I would like to do this new technique on you where it's called a laparoscopic. It's the laparoscopic technique that we could use, where I'll just go in, make incisions, insert the machine, and it'll basically cut up the fibroid and then suction it out of you. And it's not as invasive as me going in and actually cutting out the fibroid, having to open you up completely and cut the fibroid out. We could just go in, make a couple incisions, and go in that way. So I'm like, okay. So he was like, I'm gonna let you think on it. We're not gonna make any final decisions now in this appointment, but if you do decide that you want to move forward with the surgery, then just call the office and let us know, and we can set up consultation and set up an appointment and do all of that stuff. I'm like, okay. So I go home, I tell my mama, and she's just like, wow. And she was just like, basically, she's leaving the decision up to me on what it is that I want to do. If I want to go ahead and have the surgery, if I want to wait, like whatever. And so I'm like, okay, I want to go ahead and have the surgery to go ahead and remove them, because I don't know like what could happen. The only thing I know about fibroids is what you went through, and I know that if they grow bigger, then it can cause like issues as far as my period and, well, I want to say my menstruation and all of that. Because I know with her, she was losing like a lot of blood through the month with the fibroids that she was dealing with. So I was like, I didn't want that to happen. Now, mind you, I had no symptoms of fibroids, like none. I did not have a heavy period. My period was normal. It came on every month, 7 days, like it's been doing since I was in the 4th grade. That when it started, it's been the same as that way. I'm in pain the first day, or I'm cramping like the first day. After that first day, I'm good. Nothing. It's not heavier than normal. Like nothing abnormal is going on. So like I'm confused in my mind, like how do I have fibroids? Like that don't even make sense to me personally. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just go ahead and have the surgery. I called my other parent, and he's like, well, did you get a second opinion? And I'm like, no, I just want to go ahead and just get it over with. I have no interest in having somebody else to go back in me to see if they see anything. First, should have gotten a second opinion. Hate that I never got a second opinion. Hate that I never did any research, but younger mind. And I just didn't know, and I definitely hate that I did not do a second opinion or further research. So I went and I had the surgery. It's called the Laparoscopicmyomectomy. Is what I had. Why I feel like my voice is like, I don't know, I'm kind of stopped up too, I guess. It's mucusy. But anyway, so I had the surgery. The surgery went smooth. Surgery went fine. I'll do another video about the actual process of the surgery. So I had the surgery, did that. Advanced to, he was like, and he also said that having the surgery would give me a better chance at being able to conceive later on, because it puts me at less of a risk of not being able to conceive later on. So had the surgery, went through all of that. I wouldn't even say a year later. No, like a year or so later, I get pregnant, miscarriage. Couple months go by, a couple months to a year go by, another miscarriage. And after the second miscarriage, I went back to the doctor. Both times I went to the doctor, of course. And the second miscarriage was when he was like, this is abnormal for you to have 2 miscarriages back to back and not to be able to conceive. Mind you, I was on birth control pills for 7 years straight. I did not take them every day, but on the days that I would miss, I would take extra pills to make up for the days that I didn't take it. Hate that I did that. So, and I also feel like that if you do your fibroid research, you'll see that birth control pills can affect that, okay? So, especially taking them how my crazy ass was taking them. But, so, he was like, that's abnormal. So what I want to do is I want to go and put saline inside of your uterus so that I can look at your uterine wall. Look in the wall of your uterus to see if there's anything there that could be causing this issue, because it has to be something going on internally that's causing this issue. And the surgery that you had wasn't as invasive as a normal fibroid removal could have possibly gone if we wouldn't have done the laparoscopic method. So I'm like, okay, cool. That didn't hurt at all. It wasn't painful to do. So he did that, and then he took me after we did it. While they were looking at the images or whatever that they took, I waited, which is the first time this has ever happened, which was like, what? Why? They took me into his actual office, and I've never even been to this part of the doctor's office before, so I'm like, wow. So, mind you, this time again, I'm by myself. So he was like, so what we're seeing webbing like this in your uterine wall, like it's webs. We don't know what it is. We don't know if it's tissue. We don't know what's going on inside of there that's causing the webbing. He was like, it's just like webs of something in there. So I'm like, okay. He was like, I don't know if it was, I don't know where it's coming from. He was like flabbergasted as far as to where it could come from. And I'm like, what? How do you not know? And I just had a surgery performed by you not even 2 years ago. Mind you, when I had the surgery, he was telling me, I was informed that if I didn't take care of myself, the fibroids could come back within 3 years. So he was like, you don't have fibroids again, but the webbing is what we think, or what I think, is causing you to have the miscarriages. So he was like, he basically said, so I want you to think, he was like, I want you to think about that. And he was like, we may have to perform another surgery to see if it's, so that I can get a better look at it to see exactly what it is. So I'm like, another surgery in hopes of you figuring out what it is that's causing me. I was like, okay. In my mind, I'm like, what? And so, I left, and I never went back. What I feel it was during that conversation, she did say he thinks it may be scar tissue from the surgery. So, upon my own further research, of course, in my brain, it made sense that it would be scar tissue, because now, after having the surgery, my uterus wasn't contracting how it should when my menstruation was on. And I knew that because I had an increase in blood clots. And with blood clots, you clot because your uterus isn't able to contract the way that it's supposed to when you're doing your menstruation. So, and also, that's what kept both of my babies not able to grow. Because the second miscarriage, I want to say I was 6 weeks, and the baby hadn't even formed yet. Like, it was just a sack. The first one, I want to say I was maybe 4 weeks, and same thing, it didn't grow. So, and in order for a baby to grow, your uterus has to be able to, expand and do all kind of different stuff. And I just don't feel like my uterus had that ability because of the scar tissue that I had from the surgery. Mind you, on the outside, my scars weren't that big, but on the inside, it's no telling how big those scars were. Also, considering the fact that during my surgery, after my surgery, he did tell me that one of the fibroids was larger than what he expected, so he had to, the incision by my navel had to be larger than what he expected it to be, initially. So, after further research, I was able to figure out for myself and justify in my brain that it was scar tissue, that the lack of contracting was the reason for the miscarriages, was the reason why I was clotting more. And I just didn't want to go back to him after that. So I found a girl on YouTube. I mean on Facebook. I'm sorry, on Facebook. Crystal Alkaline Doula. I didn't find her by myself. A friend of mine at the time, she was like, "Hey, I think you should look at this page." And I had found her once before, but I never took a deep dive and actually looked and saw the content that she was posting and the stuff that she was saying and the products that she was selling. And the friend of mine at the time, she was just like, "I think you can get some beneficial information from her based on the things that have happened to you as far as your fertility goes." So went on her page and went on a full journey. Oh my gosh, I feel like it was confirmation for a lot of the stuff that she was saying, and a lot of stuff that she promoted was confirmation to me in my brain to tell me, yes, this is what was happening. Yes, I was right. And so I found her because of my the friend at the time, and I got the teas that she promoted. I did all of, more research, more paying attention to my body, more just being more informational and being more informed helped me to make better decisions for myself. And it also made me realize that having that surgery was one of my biggest mistakes, and I no longer beat myself up about it because I give myself grace, I give myself grace to know that I was young and I can't blame myself or fault myself for what I didn't know, you know. Do I hate I did it? Yes, it's one of my regrets, to be honest with you. Really, it's my only regret in life is having that surgery. I feel like I should have gotten a second opinion. I should have done my research when the doctor first, told me about it, instead of making a decision in that moment and sticking to it, because I'm a Scorpio. I do that. Once I made a decision and I feel like that decision is the best thing for me, I'm gonna stick to it and I'm gonna roll with it. So yeah, I do give myself grace. I do understand that I can't fault myself for what I didn't know. The only thing I can do now is try to correct it, basically. Try to fix the problem that I allowed someone else to cause, pretty much. So, if you guys want to, I do plan to tell more of my story in that sense. I do have pictures. Some pictures I don't know if I should show them or not. They are a bit much. But yeah, so I'll take you on my tea journey and how I do that. How I plan to one day be able to conceive. Cause after that second miscarriage that I had, I have not conceived again since then, and that was back in like 2021, 2020, 2021, I want to say. That was the second miscarriage. Yeah. And ever since like 2020, no, it was not 2021, I'm sorry. That miscarriage, my last miscarriage was 2019. Definitely 2019. And since 2019 going forward, I've been on a journey to make myself and my uterus better. I feel like I'm almost there. And I'm almost at a point where I'm okay with my uterine health. But like I said, I'll take you, do more videos if you're interested. Definitely stay tuned. But yeah, that's my fibroid story. That's part of it anyway. That's the first part of my fibroid story. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. I hope this made sense to somebody. What I can say is I hate that I did it. I feel like that surgery is the reason why I have issues conceiving or had issues conceiving. It's the reason why I miscarried. It's the reason why my uterus was not as healthy as it could be. And yeah, I don't recommend it. I mean, if it's the best thing for you, all means go for it. You know, I'm not going to tell you not to do what you feel is best for you. But for me, it was a big mistake. But yeah, so stay tuned if you would like to. Don't forget to like. Feel free to comment if you want to. I ain't really here for negative comments, so it might get deleted. But yeah, so if you got a positive comment, you know, do your thing down below. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel encouraged to do so. I'm gonna go in the house and fix this ponytail that I've had for however long. And yeah, peace.